Welcome to the GG Retrofitz handlebar swapping video. So first we're going to start off by taking these two Phillips head screws out of the switch box. So we have to remove this off the clip-on because the clutch perch has to slide off the end of the clip-on. You're going to use your Allen key to take off this bar end, and it might spin inside the clip-on, so if it does that, just grab a pair of pliers to hold it in place while you loosen the Allen bolt. So now we're going to cut the grip off. Basically, you can just use a box cutter to slice this down. Just do little by little and peel it away so you don't put a cut in your clip-on. So once you removed your grip and the switch box, we're going to loosen the clutch lever and perch bolts. There's two bolts here with your socket wrench. Now we're going to use our Allen to loosen the clip-on that's connected to the top of the fork tube. So there should be two Allen bolts, one on top and one on the side. And once you loosen those bolts, you should be able to just lift the whole clip-on off the fork tube. Alright, now we're going to pull the clip-on out of the clutch perch. We're going to go ahead and do the right side. So since this side has a throttle tube, we're going to loosen the bar end first. And also there's two Phillips head screws we're going to take out to take off the switch box. And once you loosen and take off all these bolts, try to just keep everything in place because we're gonna basically put all of this on the new clip-ons. So now we're gonna loosen the front brake clamp. So it's these two socket bolts. Be careful when you're loosening these, you don't want the wrench to hit your tank or frame. Now we're going to use the Allen key to loosen the clip-on bolts that connect to the top of the fork tube. Also, there's one on the top and one on the side we're going to loosen. And once those are loosened up, you should be able to just lift the clip-on off the fork tube. And go ahead and pull that out. Alright, we chose a set of Vortex clip-ons to replace the stock handlebars. Basically, these are a little bit lower so they don't hit the custom bodywork. So we pre-drilled a hole in the new clip-on to line up with the tab on the switch box. So we're going to insert the clip-on into the throttle tube and line it up with the tab on the switch box. And once you feel it lock in place there, then you could put the 2 Phillips head screws to clamp it in place. Alright, now we're going to put the clip-on top of the fork tube. So just make sure you loosen those bolts enough so it can slide right on top of the fork tube, and go ahead and snug those up. You don't need to tighten them too tight because we're going to adjust the clip-ons after we put the bodywork on. So now we're going to put the front brake back on the clip-on. And on this clamp you'll see an arrow pointing up. Obviously you want to keep that position up. And also you can just put these nice and snug for now, and we'll adjust the brake lever positioning after the assembly of the bodywork. So now we're going to do the left side. So same as the right side, we pre-drilled a hole to line up with the tab and the switch box. So we're going to go ahead and line that up and clamp the switch box together, and use the 2 Phillips screws to clamp it in place. So actually this one's pretty long, so it might take some time to thread it back in there. So the left side is a little bit different because the stock clutch perch has to slide off. So basically we're going to put that on first and just snug those bolts in place, and we're going to put the clip-on fork clamp on after. Go ahead and slide that on top of the fork tube and just snug the bolts up enough to hold it in place. So I took a measurement of the positioning of the right side clip-on, and basically I just want to match that to the left side. So now that we got the clip-on clamped onto the fork tube, we're going to go ahead and just snug up the clutch perch bolts. And same as the right side, we're going to leave these snug for now and adjust all the hand controls later.